Hi. Hi. Say hi when you join. It's Friday and it's 7 o'clock. Yeah, hope you got the message that we are later this week. A little later than usual. We're trying it out. See how we get on. Lovely. Lovely. Just making sure everything's in the right place. Well, I'm so glad you got the message, Paul. It's handy, isn't it, really? So say hello when you join. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Tony. Welcome. I guess some people might be late. Hi, Diana. Welcome. It's a little cold this evening, isn't it? Hello, Alison. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Jeanette. Hi, Rebecca. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's feeling chilly this evening. We've had pasta, so we should be feeling lovely and warm, but just really dropped. Hello, Mandy. Hello, Sally. Hello, MJ. Hi, Grace. Hello, Granny Growbag's allotment. Yeah, it's feeling really cold, and I've had this sort of virusy thing. I don't know what it is. It keeps disappearing into thin air and then coming back. It's ridiculous. Hi, Carla. Hi, Trandans. Hi, Nettie. I can't go on. My viral journey. What was that? Oh, your phone. Yeah, weird. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Judy. Hi, Tina. Yeah, I've had this weird virus this week. So Wednesday, I was streaming from the nose all day. Literally, it was dripping out of my nostrils. I know, disgusting. I know, but hey, there you go. Um, well, we're early risers as well, to be honest. I was up early this morning. I don't know what time it was. It's just going light. But well, Sarah, it's weird. It's a weird one. Thank you. Wednesday, I felt sort of full of drippy nose, and I thought, oh, I've definitely got a cold. And then the day after, Thursday, kind of felt okay-ish. And today I felt, a little bit sort of throaty. And yeah, I have, yeah, had a little haircut. Well, I did a haircut on myself. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Karen. Hi, Donna. Hi, Sally. Hi, other Sally. Hi, Helen. Hi, Ali. Just making sure I've said hi to everybody. Well, it's weird, Tony, because um, traditionally, I mean, I don't have allergies. I just don't. I've never suffered with hay fever, but I think as I'm getting older, I think it may be having an effect. However, on Wednesday, it said the pollen was low. So, hi, Jan. So, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. And it said that the air quality was good. So I don't think it was. I don't really have allergies, but I do kind of feel a little bit throaty. So I think it's a mild virus and I'm fighting it off. I think that's what it is. But I can't work out where I got it from, you know? Well, I'm not really, there isn't really any dust to be allergic to, you know? Um, I know that tree pollen was high, I think a week ago, was really high. Well, the Sahara dust has gone now, Leslie. So yeah, it was all washed away. No real sign of it here, to be honest. Certainly not on the cars, Certainly not like it's been in previous years where it's been really, really thick layer. And on our window sills upstairs, it's been really, really coated. So we've experienced Saharan dust before, and I've never had an issue with it. So yeah, I think it's a virus. Yeah. Hey ho. We have eaten. We've eaten, got it out the way, and we're ready to relax now. So I'm going to say goodbye now. Bye. Not really. Not really. Just a little joke, you know. Yeah, I noticed, Linny, it's Friday the 13th. I should have done a lottery ticket, but I didn't. So, hey. Oh, that sounds good, Sarah. Did you enjoy it? Yeah. Well, you know, we thought we'd try out 7 o'clock and see if it's better for some people. I think it is. Yeah. You see, I've never had allergies ever. I think the only time as a child that I had a bout of hay fever was, I think it was that really hot year that we had, and I had some kind of reaction to something. Um, but that's the only time, really. Seriously. Oh, Grace, yeah. In the winter, especially, every time I eat something hot as well, my nose starts to drip. It's crazy, isn't it? All the things that happens, you know, with reactions to things. And yeah, but you know, our house isn't particularly dusty either. You know, bedding gets changed regularly. So I regularly vacuum and dust, as you all know. So yeah, I think it's a little virus. Friday the 30th is such a rubbish film, Paul.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Oh, it's not. We know what happens. They all die. Oh, the Bakewell tart, Sally. It's fantastic. Really, really good. First time I've made Bakewell tart. Um, and yeah, we've still got half left. So yeah, that's our 11 o'clock in the morning snack with coffee. Lovely. Really worth doing. Really easy to do. Oh, sorry, Leslie. Sorry to hear that. It's the anniversary, yeah? Oh, yeah, it was a really good bake. Paul said to me earlier, that's restaurants.
I said both restaurants.
So, you know, yeah, I mean, I think I'm just quite good at pastry, you know. I always, Nettie, always have tissues in my bag or my pocket. Always. Don't go anywhere without a tissue. We don't, if we go out, we don't go anywhere without a tissue, my lip balm, my emotional support lip balm, um, and food, a snack and water or tea. I'm using a lot of lip balm at the moment. I get through several of these a year. Nivea, the best. No, there's no news on that, Jeanette. Nothing at all. It's exactly the same as it was. Hankies and dog poo bags. Can we cook from the allotment? Well, we could, but I don't think it's something that we would be doing. We've got enough on our plates providing the content that we do at the moment, you know, which is just keeping us afloat, frankly. Somebody said to me earlier, will you be writing a book, a cookery book? And I thought, you know what, Paul and I were talking about this earlier today. They say everybody's got a novel in them, but when on earth does one have time to sit and write a novel or indeed a cookery book? You know, I thought I would sort of test out interest in recipes, and people are quite interested in the recipe cards. Hi, Nancy. So I'm going to leave it at that at the moment. You know, well, our food videos, our cookery videos that we do already are doing fairly well in terms of views. But I'm loath to try anything new or different because if we lose views, that's going to be even worse, to be honest, you know. So I think we just need to stick on our path at the moment. We believe in what we do, um, and that's how we're going to play it, you know. I think YouTube is not great for a lot of people at the moment, not just us. People certainly aren't getting the same number of views as they were getting. But if you read the press, it will tell you that YouTube is more popular than ever, especially things like cookery videos. So, you know, we're just sort of going to stick to what we're doing, you know. Do you mean Michael Barrymore, Kevin? I can tell you a story about Michael Barrymore, but I shouldn't because I think it was private, really. Yeah. Hi, Derek. Just having a look at the comments. Thank you, Sally. Well, the only thing we can do to earn more is to introduce memberships, but we're not going to do that. So, yeah.
And
We
if
ha-
people want to support us, there's
Yeah.
coffee and there's super chats.
Exactly. We've, you know, there are plenty of ways to support the channel, you know, already. We have our coffee page. Like Paul said, we've got super thanks and super chat and all of that. So, you know, we are, the position that we're in at the moment is that we, like I say, we do believe in what we do and we do provide honest, quality content, you know, that's the thing. So, yeah. So Michael Barrymore's story. So as you all know, I worked as a receptionist for social services for nearly 18 years. And many, many years ago, I was in reception. It was an afternoon, or was it morning? I can't remember. No, it was an afternoon. It was a fairly quiet afternoon. And I saw this couple approach. They pulled up in a big car and then they were approaching the building. And I thought, that's Michael Barrymore. That's Michael Barrymore. And they came in, and basically what had happened is they'd gone to the wrong building. Oh, Leslie, thank you. You're very kind. Thank you so much. They'd basically gone to the wrong building. They should have been at Green Man Lane rather than Green Lane, which is where I worked. And that's it, really. I'm not going to say the building that he was going to because, you know, that's a private story for them. But yeah, and he was very pleasant. So, oh, thank you, Mandy. That's lovely. Thank you so much. So yeah, there you go. That's my Michael Barrymore story. Nothing particularly exciting, but I did tell everybody in the building, guess who's just been in reception? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any strong feelings about Michael Barrymore. I mean, I know he went through that awful situation, but, you know, yeah, bad things happen to people, you know. Hi, Jane. Well, Rebecca, you know, I've kind of done all of that already. I've changed the titles of things. My vlogs are no longer Richard's vlog. It says what is in the video. I've been through the descriptions of many of the videos and changed them. We've kind of done all of that. And frankly, it didn't make that much of a difference. So, you know, yeah, we've done quite a lot. We're okay at the moment. If things were to continue to go downhill, then it will get to the stage where I'll have to get a job, because we won't be earning enough to live. So, but you see, rewind to summer last year, May, June, July, August were brilliant months. We were doing really, really well, and money was going up, and it was like, yes, finally, we're doing well, because I've said before, we're not greedy people. We're not looking to make hundreds of thousands of pounds. We don't want that. We just need an extra few £100 to pay our bills. So we do struggle. And that's all I'm looking for. So hopefully, as the season changes, I'm hoping, and we get out and about, and we're able to provide, more interesting content for you. I'm hoping that things will go on the up. That's the way it goes. Just catching up. Hi, Murdo. Thank you, Linda. Hi, David. Are we connected to the entertainment industry, new or past? Okay, so Paul and I both worked in theatre, in different arms of theatre. So Paul was in PR, press and marketing, and I was in ticketing in the West End. I worked for Ticketmaster in the days when they had a call centre, and I worked for them twice. I also worked at Wembley Stadium as well. So we used to go out a lot into the West End, because as a ticket seller, you have to know the shows, and you have to know the shows inside out to be able to sell them. So you go on what are called agents' nights, where all the agents go to see the show. The producers are very often there as well, and press and marketing people, and that's where I met Paul. So yeah. I also worked for the BBC for 5 years, again in a phone room. I worked at the BBC switchboard at TV Centre at White City. Gave them 5 years of my life, and started there as a temporary telephonist, and then worked my way up to become the training manager. So I trained switchboard operators at the BBC, which was at the time the largest switchboard in the country, serving 32 buildings in London, I think around 25,000 extensions. And we used to receive anything between 13,000 and 17,000 calls a day. I was there, in fact, my first week as a trained operator was when Jill Dando was shot. And you can imagine how the switchboard lit up on that day. I was also there on the day of 9/11, same kind of thing. Everything went crazy. Yeah. So yeah, my background is behind the scenes in entertainment, but I did do drama at school. I've done a few pieces of amateur theatre over the years, school plays, all of that. I used to do public speaking competitions as well. So yeah, there you go. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, Derek, there are a lot of channels that are experiencing a downward trend at the moment with money. So I don't think we're doing anything wrong. Plus, I am not prepared to do things that are a lie. Because believe you me, and I have this on good authority, there are plenty of channels out there that do stuff just for the camera. That's it. They don't actually carry out what they say they're going to do. I'm not going to sensationalize stuff. I refuse to do that. It's against my morals. you know, so I'm never going to change what we do because we've got you so far, and there are plenty more of you guys out there. It's a case of YouTube and us finding them. That's all it is, you know. So any update on a house move? There won't be a house move this year. No, we're going to stay put at the moment. And obviously at this time with the conflict that's going on in the world, it's not a good time to do anything that involves big sums of money. A cat would help. No, we don't want any animals. Thank you. Oh, Nettie, thank you. That's lovely. Thank you so much. Hi, Stevie. Oh, thank you so much. Pets do cause a lot of stress. We had 3 cats, and one of them survived to 19. And I have to say that, yeah, they all had illnesses. It was very stressful. Keeping on top of looking after animals is stressful and expensive, very expensive. And we couldn't afford to keep an animal. And it wouldn't be fair, you know, because also we said once Peanut had gone, which, you know, in itself was very traumatic. But we said once she's gone, you know, it's time for us to do the things we want to do, you know, because we didn't go on holiday for the best part of 20 years. We had tiny little breaks and had to rely on people to come in and look after them. And we don't have that many people at close proximity to be able to do that. So yeah, we won't be doing that. We won't be doing the pet thing. It's a fool's game at the moment. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, I mean, Paul met a lot of people over the years, a lot of famous people. I've met a few, but yeah, that's the nature of the business. Once you meet people in situ, you kind of realize that they're doing their job, you know, and they don't really want to be bothered. So I was in the music industry for a while. I was in a band. We had a manager. We were managed for a short while by Boy Georgie's manager, Tony Gordon. We recorded an album. I still make music now. Pardon me. But yeah, it's a fickle industry as well, you know. A little bit like YouTube is now, to be honest. You know, if you are young, covered in muscles and tattoos, and you're baking in your kitchen half naked, your channel's going to do well.
Yeah, exactly.
Your channel's going to do well, you know. And if you're a girl and, you know, you've got nice figure, nice hair, and lots of makeup, and you're doing makeup tutorials with your big boobs, your channel's going to do well. I'm not prepared to sell my soul to the devil, frankly.
I'll get my boobs out.
If you want to, Paul. Well, Donna, I was at Ticketmaster in 1986 and 1990, no, 92, 93, I think it was. Yeah. I did Guildhall, Stevie. I did Guildhall exams. Okay, just catching up with the comments. We've got 81 people here. Thank you for joining me this evening. Do appreciate it. Kev, you've just finished a run in Panto. Lovely. Any plans for Easter? You got any plans for Easter?
Quiet, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, what I'm hoping for at the moment is a run of good weather because it's blooming cold at the moment and we've had brief moments of sun. I want to get out into the garden and I want to start getting out on trips again. That's really what I want to do. So I'm really just wanting this winter to be cleared out the way so we can move forward into proper spring, not fool's spring, which I think we've just had. I do. Hi, Barty. Well, yeah, I mean, with that's the kind of people that we are. We do have principles, um, and we do believe in being honest and truthful about stuff, you know. Yes, sometimes we're a little bit silly in Sunday chat to get a laugh.
Sunday chat.
Oh, I was waiting for that. But that's part of it. We do like to have fun, and we just do what we do. And if people like it, people like it. But enough people have liked it so far. That's my whole point. Why should I start having to spend loads of time and effort on changing stuff like thumbnails and titles and descriptions to not gain any more subscribers when actually what we need is the algorithm to pick us up because it's done it before and it'll do it again, Helen, like I said earlier, we know a particular channel that just tells lies all the time. And it's like, we don't watch that person anymore. So, it's kind of like, they're just lying about everything. And it's just ridiculous. And the sensational nature of some channels, just ridiculous. Stevie, we filled up, I think last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
We haven't filled up this week. We went down to For Earth's Sake, and we haven't filled up since. So, yeah, just ridiculous, isn't it? We will be seeing Vivi at some point once the weather gets a little bit better. We will be, yeah. Nettie, good. My crochet journey is really underway as well. I've started fixing the squares together today. Well, I've started testing to see what they are going to look like and deciding on the type of stitch I'm going to use. So it's quite exciting. Sorry, just having... Yeah. We don't need to fill up that often because we don't go on that many long journeys, and our car is
very many friends.
Our car is very economical as well. It's only a 998 engine, so it's really it really does do well, and it goes quite fast. It can do 80 on the motorway, no problem at all. But yes, it's fairly economical. It's not really a cruiser though, it's more of a city car, So long journeys for me are quite uncomfortable, to be honest. I get sort of sciatica and stuff like that if I'm sat in a certain position for too long. Hi, Summerflowers, thank you. Sorry, I'm just having a look. You won't know the album, Caroline. It's not really available. It was really only a sort of demo album, but we were called Human Animal. There was another band called Human Animals. So if you do find it and think that's not Richard, it isn't. We did an album called Sensual Invasion. Yeah, had it, made on CD, had it mastered, recorded it in my friend's bedroom. It took a hell of a long time to record. We also went into studios and did demos. So I have quite a bit of experience at recording and singing and writing and producing and doing backing vocals as well, because one of my specialties is harmonizing. I'm good at working out harmonies. So yeah, there you go. Murdo, so we're on TikTok. I tried it out, and people were saying, "Oh, you've got to do TikTok. You've got to do it." And I thought, well, I'll put a couple of videos. So I put those videos, those little fun videos that I did of me changing my shirts and my scarves, and yeah, I got a few views, but it didn't attract any attention. So yeah, I mean, there's so many things that one can do. But, if you covered all the bases, you would be exhausted, because let's not forget that a lot of these big YouTubers and Instagrammers actually have people editing for them. So they actually pay people to do it. And of course, you've got a lot of these, Instagram cooks doing things in their big white kitchens with their big kitchen islands. And you forget that actually most of the time they've got a camera crew doing it with them. So yeah. Well, Gail, thank you. I mean, at the end of the day, and we've said this before, we would rather have a small, loyal subscriber base that regularly watches rather than, 50,000 subscribers and only 1% watch. Do you know what I mean? It's, yeah, I'd love to, Kevin, but my throat. I couldn't belt anything out if I tried at the moment. I can belt, yeah, but I haven't belted for a long time, and I'm better off belting when I'm stood up as well. Sorry. Hi, Robert. You had to watch the paint dry. Well, I hope we're more interesting than that. Although I do quite enjoy watching paint dry. Yeah. When I'm decorating. Chocolate, well, chocolate's so expensive. I mean, people are nicking chocolate, aren't they? They're nicking it. They're putting it into those security boxes now. I mean, what are they going to do at Easter? Just lock everything up? Lock up your eggs? Really? Just checking the comments. We've got 87 people watching. Thank you. I appreciate it. Helen, I know I am desperate to tidy the garden. The blossoms are starting already. And by now, I've usually cleared the lawn, cleared the old leaves, done all of that, cleared the patio, but just haven't had chance. I've got different priorities this year, really have. You did a bit of dance in secondary school, Caroline. Lovely. I did movement and dance in drama. And I remember a friend of mine and we did a routine to Space Oddity. I remember doing that. It was really good. Oh yeah, Derek, you're going to visit Kew. Lovely. Peace, calm, and beautiful landscapes. Well, calm and beautiful landscapes. Peace, well, you'll probably have the barrage of planes going over. That's the only thing that mars Kew. And I think I said on our trip to Osterley on my vlog, both Kew, Syon Park, Osterley Park, they're all on flight paths, either takeoff or landing. Kew is on the landing path. Occasionally you'll get days when you go there and there are no planes, which is lovely. But more often than not, there are planes going over. And also, Derek, I would encourage you to seek out the quieter parts of Kew Gardens, because as you go through the main entrance, there's always going to be a lot of people and they all gravitate to the same places: the Palm House, the Princess of Wales Conservatory. Um, they sort of all go that way. But I would say to you, if you can check out things like the Hive, that's really brilliant, brilliant sculpture. Um, the woodlands and the arboretum, those areas are
Queen
beautiful.
Charlotte's Cottage.
Queen Charlotte's Cottage, um,
Kew House.
the pagoda, Kew Palace, those are worth seeing. You can't do it in one day. Oh, thank you, Jane. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Sally, I think it's getting cold here as well. Yeah, I agree, Helen. You know, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on with YouTube at the moment. Hey. Sorry, just catching up. Well, Nettie, I'm sure you're going to get there with the crochet. You know, frankly, if I can do it, I think anybody can. I mean, knitting stressed me out. It really did. I just found it really difficult to concentrate on the counting the stitches, and you know, if you go wrong, got to unravel it all, and you know, it really stressed me out. But I find crochet, once you kind of get certain things, um, it sort of becomes clear, you know, and I've really remembered all the stitches. And that's the other thing that I'm finding really interesting. I thought I'd sort of got to the stage where I'd probably never remember things again. So, for example, if we look back a few years, I recited Matilda Who Told Lies and Was Burned to Death, the poem by Hilaire Belloc. And I learnt it as a child. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to recite this and I'm going to video myself. So I learnt it again. God, I found it so hard to do that. And I thought, I'm never going to learn lines again. You know, if I can't possibly do acting again because I'm not going to be able to remember anything. And I thought, you know, maybe it's just one of those things, you know, I'm pushing 60 now, so maybe it's that time of life. But I found with the crochet, I'm really remembering stuff. So it's really sort of started making those connections, you know, which is really interesting. And I think apparently it is pretty good for that hand, brain, eye coordination thing that goes on, which helps to strengthen the doodahs in your la-la. What they call neurons and synapses and yeah, all those things that go on in your brain. Sorry, just catching up. I wondered what you were talking about, Cheryl. You kept mentioning labradorite. I thought, oh, are we talking about crystals now? Lovely. I like a crystal. I have a little crystal garden on my desk. I did this a few weeks ago. I gathered all the crystals that I've got and thought I'm going to have them all on the desk to inspire me because they're so beautiful to look at. You know, whether you believe in their energies or not, they're beautiful little objects to touch, you know, tactile, quite good for you to do things like that when you're working. So yeah, there we go. Sorry, having to catch up. There's so many comments. We've got 88 people watching. Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that. Well, Rebecca, I mean, if you look back to when we started our YouTube channel, we had our storm video go viral, which was crazy. I sat there And it was, of course, before we'd monetized, so we didn't really earn any money on that video. In fact, there were 2 storm videos that went really crazy. And of course, since then, we've never had a crazy storm like that again, apart from the crazy storm with the loud thunderclap in Guernsey. But yeah, that literally, I sat watching my phone, watching the numbers rise, and it was wild. And actually, a clip of that was used on a TV program, which actually earned us the most money we've ever earned. It wasn't a lot of money that they paid us, by the way. How much was it? Was it 200
£100.
£100? Yeah, they paid us £100 to use a 3-second clip. So I wasn't going to say no. And I thought, at that moment, I'm earning more than Paul McCartney. Just catching up. Well, Helen, one would hope being real and normal and sharing aspects of one's life, I think that should be enough. I mean, we watch other YouTube channels and, it's just normal life, isn't it? It's normal life. And people enjoy it. Thank you, Sharon. That's very kind of you. Yeah, Judy, we take the whole range. Vitamin D with K, C, Maltese, omega 369, vitamin C. Yeah. Morrissey's cancelled a few gigs, hasn't he, recently? Yeah, I noticed that. Saw it on the news. Oh, bye, Sally. Have a good weekend. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Lynn. Sorry, catching up. There's so many comments. So many comments. Hello, Sonia Rose. Did I miss you? I'm sorry. Okay, Tony, crochet stretches you. It's funny, isn't it? We're all different. We all have different things. Helen, where would we stay? Where's our favourite place to have a weekend away? Well, we do quite enjoy going down to Swanage to see Vivi because, of course, that's a much cheaper weekend away. We don't go because it's cheaper. We go because we're going to see Vivi and spend time in Swanage. But it's handy to have people that we quite like going up north. In fact, I need to see my family at some point soon. Where else have we been away? Of course, we used to go to Wales quite regularly, but that sadly has become more and more expensive over time. And also, of course, it's pricey to travel, isn't it? If you decided, we love trains, we love going on a train journey, but we've not been on a train journey for a heck of a long time, because it is so expensive, so expensive.
We looked at going to Whitby and it was going to take 5.5 hours
Yeah.
and cost £140 each.
We were going to go to Whitby, as Paul just said, £140 each. I don't think so. We just don't have that kind of spare cash, It is ridiculous, really ridiculous. David, I have got an Olympus. It's an Olympus. It's an EM1. I've got Mark II now. It's my it's my third Olympus camera. Yeah, and I use Lightroom to process the shots. Well done, Nettie. Keep it up. It's funny, isn't it? I tried it. I tried crochet a couple of years ago and knitted crocheted a scarf, and it wasn't brilliant. It was pretty rubbish actually, but put it down, never picked it up again until recently. I thought, yeah, I'm going to give it a go, and yeah, I'm getting on with it. It's yeah. Well, hopefully, when I start doing tutorials, hopefully, if I can clear stuff up for people, then I will do. Make it a bit easier. Oh, lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Cheryl, Avebury, definitely. Definitely. We love Avebury. We did look at staying for a weekend in Avebury as well. But again, very costly. And also, we kind of wanted to be within walking distance of the Stone Circle. But a couple of the cheaper places that we looked at, you had to drive. And of course, parking is very restricted now in Avebury. So that wasn't practical. And of course, it's an area of the country where you don't find footpaths. They're just grass verges, so you can't actually walk safely along the roads, you know. So there's all these practical considerations when you decide to take a weekend break in the deepest, darkest countryside, and you don't maybe want to drive everywhere, you know. You have to work out all the paths that you can walk. I remember when our friend Karen lived in Suffolk, there were routes that people used to walk across the fields. And as locals, they got to know those routes. And of course, as a visitor, you'd never know that those kind of walking routes existed. So yeah. Yeah, it was pretty windy yesterday here as well. Swanage is lovely. It really is. It's a lovely place to visit. Yeah, I think it's becoming more and more restrictive. People are getting priced out of taking short breaks, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. That's why we prefer to take, days out. What's the word? Day trips. That's it. That's what I'm thinking of. That's what we prefer to do. Pack some sarnies, flask, whatever else, just go, you know. Oh, James, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Wow, thank you. You've been very generous this evening. Many of you, you know, it's lovely. It really is. Thank you. Yeah, we did have a lot of wind yesterday. It really was gusty. But it's feeling very cool. I'm just so sick of these cold temperatures now. I really am. I want spring to arrive full on, and I want it to get warm. I want to get to the stage where I can walk around the house with very little on. Do you know what I mean? Rather than layer upon layer upon layer and a scarf and gloves. Really, that need fixing again. These are my Frankenstein gloves. Look, they're becoming threadbare. I've just washed them. I've had to sew them up. I've had to sew the fingers up several times because I'm saving money by not throwing them away. I'm repairing and reusing. Yeah, I've had these 2 years now, I think. Well, let's hope so, Rebecca. Let's hope so. Yeah, potholes, Sally. Terrible down in Surrey. Absolutely terrible. Whenever I go down to For Earth's Sake with Paul, that's Paul's place of work, for those of you who don't know, where we mention Vanessa quite a lot, Vanessa Ford, who I auditioned for, funnily enough, when I was a teenager, when I was at school. And yeah, funny that we re-met after God knows how many years. What was I saying? Yeah, roads, terrible, absolutely shocking. I mean, some of those holes, if we went into some of those holes with our little precious little fairy car, little Fenella, who's a delicate little being, may as well say goodbye to the car, literally. You could say goodbye to the axle, definitely. It's frightening. It's frightening. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? The length of time to visit these places. The drive, yeah. We don't mind driving. I used to drive everywhere. Used to be real. Well, I still am a confident driver, but I don't enjoy it as much. We did at one stage when Paul was in a well-paid job. We had the most amazing car. It was a Mercedes. What was it? An
AMG S-Class.
S-Class. It was an S-Class AMG with a fridge, with a fridge and heated seats and zoned heating controls and all of that. It was a beauty. And driving up north in that, you just didn't feel the journey at all. Whereas in Fenella, after an hour, I'm like, we've got to stop because I need to walk around. My back is killing me. You know, there's just no room in there to maneuver. Yeah. Train travel is very expensive, very expensive. We're due to go to Avebury in May because a friend of ours is coming over from Canada. Our French friend's sister, she's coming over and we're going to take a trip. But what we're probably going to do is look at getting a hire car between us all pay towards it. Just have a comfortable day, you know. Haven't caught up with the comments yet. Everything is expensive. Thank you, Alison. You're very kind. Well, I think a lot of Europe is much cheaper than the UK on things like, you know, rail and bus travel. I mean, buses here are crazy expensive. I remember the days where you could get on a bus, you just got on, and the conductor came round and he would say, where are you going? You know, and you'd say, well, I'd like a single to, and it was like, I don't know, 25p or something, 70p maybe, I don't know, can't remember. And that was it. Whereas now it's almost £2 to get anywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous. Sorry, catching up. We've got 92 people watching. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's lovely. Thank you. You've been in the bath?
You only there.
I'm only just
He's
catching
out of the
up.
bath now.
And you emerged from your bath of milk. Oh, Cleopatra. Oh, honestly. Honestly. Oh, how ridiculous, Grace. That's crazy. Well, look, we like having a car. And, you know, as most of you know, my dad gave us that car before he died. And we were very grateful for it. The tax is really low. The insurance, of course, you know, as you get older, the insurance gets cheaper and then goes up because of the cost of living. So, you know, it's not too bad to run it and we're very grateful for it. But when they need repairs, that's stressful. That's stressful. Gosh, so many comments. Thank you, everybody. Hi, Lexi. Pardon me. Okay, Leslie. I always forget, you know, the UK is fairly small compared to a lot of other countries, you know. I mean, we're a relatively small island. And if you drive for 3 hours, you're halfway up the country, you know. But I think our motorways are fairly good in terms of driving and cars. Yeah, they're usually fairly well maintained, although there's a couple of stretches on the M40 that have got a few potholes we noticed, didn't we, Paul?
Yeah.
We did. Yeah. We did, Kevin. We did have a Xantia. We loved our Xantia. Cruised really beautifully. Yeah, great car. But sadly, we did run it into the ground and we had to scrap it. But we did get 250 quid for scrap, didn't we?
350.
350?
Yeah, because of the aerofoil.
Oh, yeah, 350 scrap. So that wasn't too bad.
And we got so many miles out.
We did. We got a lot of mileage. It went over to Guernsey a few times on the ferry, didn't it?
And I did so many
Paul,
trips in it.
Yeah, Paul did a lot of trips and also started using it like a van,
well,
which is what broke the suspension. Yeah, but we won't say any more about that, will we?
No.
We had the S-Class at the same time as the Xantia. So I tended to use the Xantia because Paul wouldn't let me drive the S-Class. He wouldn't.
No, to insure you was too much.
I'm not that young, Paul.
Then you were only about 24.
Yeah. Derek, I can remember, well, my first car, I was quite late to driving, to learning how to drive. I learned at 21 and I learned up north because that was the period of time where I moved back home, back to my parents for a couple of years before I came back down to London and worked at Wembley. And I learned to drive up north, and my first car was a Ford Escort Popular Plus Mark II. It was a V-Reg, which I think was 1980, I think, something like that. And it was about, I think, 10 years old when I bought it, and it was pretty rubbish condition. I mean, you know, we always had bangers. Nobody had good cars in those days. Everybody had old bangers, and you learn how to fix them. You know, I was taught by a friend of mine to service that car so I could give it its basic service, including doing the spark plugs and all of that. I didn't enjoy doing it, hated doing it, but I could do it if I needed to. And I can remember the first time I drove down to London. I was terrified, and I was a smoker in those days. So what I do is so I could have a cigarette, I would sort of get myself behind a lorry in the first lane and just go at, 60 miles an hour so I could have a cigarette. And then I used to be terrified of missing the junction. And I'd think to myself, I'm going to be stuck on this motorway for the rest of my life. I'm never going to get off, or I'm going to miss the junction. Or what I hated was when you were driving along, when you were overtaking, and a signpost would come up, but there'd be a lorry in the way and you'd miss the signpost and think, was that my junction? Yeah, I can remember those feelings of anxiety around it. Yeah, amazing, isn't it? My car was called Roger the Escort. Yeah, and I had a pet spider in it as well, called Boris. But of course, nowadays, you look onto the bonnet of a car, it looks like a spaceship. You can't see anything. You're like, where is everything? You know? At least our cars, I mean, our car is 2009. So at least it's, it's fairly modern, but it's not too modern, Yeah, there you go. I'm starting to lose my voice now. It's going to go all deep and husky in a moment. Yeah. So we're at an hour now, so I'm going to start winding up. I can't believe it's gone so quickly. Does it feel as though it's gone quickly to you, Paul?
It does.
That's
yeah.
it. Good, 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 good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember the choke. Absolutely. Yeah. Austin Allegro. Wow. Amazing. So, yeah, I'm going to say goodbye now. It's time for us to chill out, put our feet up and watch some TV. Can't quite believe it's Friday. The week has just gone so quickly. Manual windows. Wow. We have manual windows in the back of our car.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're very welcome. You're all very welcome. Thank you for joining me this evening. It's been lovely. Yeah, full choke on a cold day. Demisting windows, scraping windows. Yeah, I remember those days. Wow. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all of your gifts as well. That's amazing.
Crowns.
Oh, crowns. Paul wants to do the crowns just to see whether he's in the top 10 or not. So, top 10, number 10. Oh, Paul, you're number 11, just outside of the top 10.
Always.
How unfortunate. No, you were in the top 10 last week because you cheated. Tony at number 10. Number 9 is Jeanette. Number 8 is Rebecca. Number 7 is MJ. Number 6 is Sally RS. Number 5 is Mandy Mullet. Number 4 is Leslie. Number 3 is Nettie. Number 2 is Jane. And number 1 is James. Woohoo! Amazing. Full choke on a cold day in the car. The choke that you had to pull out to get the engine going. Yeah. Of course, they're all automatic choke now, aren't they? Yeah. So thank you again, everybody, for joining me this evening. You're all absolutely lovely. It's great to have a core group of people who enjoy listening to me waffle and, of course, enjoy interacting with each other. Hi, Andy. Sorry, we're saying goodbye. We're going to say ta-ta for now, and we'll see you on Sunday for Sunday Chat.
Sunday Chat!
Yay! Thank you, James. Really appreciate that. We do feel very, very fortunate to have this wonderful core group of people who we know we can rely on, for support and to watch and to thumbs up on all of those things, Derek, have a great time at Q. Enjoy it. Do some research before you go. I'm sure you will. So take care of yourselves. I'm going to put the phone down first. I am. You're all lovely. Thank you so much. Bananas. I'm saying goodbye. I'm pressing the button. Bye.